Everybody, this is Repeat Ron, and today we're going to be playing some more Killing Floor 2. Today we are going to be doing a video that a viewer suggested. I couldn't find the comment. It happened several weeks ago, but it was talking about a shotgun of fire and ice, related to the Game of Thrones books. And so I found a map, which is the Ice Arena. We're going to be playing support, and we're going to be using a shotgun of fire and ice. So I'll be using the Frost Fang and the Dragon's Breath. Now, I don't own the Frost Fang, so I will be spawning it in with cheats. I'll be doing that as, well, not as soon as the match starts, but probably by the time that I would normally get it. Now, this would give me technically an advantage. This isn't really a challenge or anything. This is simply trying out the weapons and seeing what I think of them, giving my own opinion of this loadout. I think this weapon's loadout should be fine. Support doesn't really have any bad loadouts. So, and I didn't think this map would actually be as large and void as it is. There's like a couple rocks and some trees here, and that's it. Alright, so we are playing this on Hell on Earth. We're just going to play 4 waves. That should give us a good impression of what this weapon setup can do. Obviously, using it for prolonged periods of time would give you a much better understanding of it and where your particular breakpoints are. Same with if you intend on taking this into a multiplayer match. So, this first round we just got the pump shotgun and a ton of room to move, so this should be fairly easy for us. The pump shotgun does the pump shotgun does extremely well for the first wave or so. As you can see, it can generally just one-shot body shot all of the small Zeds, or sometimes get 2 with 1 shot. And most of the medium Zeds aren't too willing to take too many shots from this either. I think I hit that right, or like once or twice before that, because I know just 1 leg shot won't kill him, but 2 will. Alright. So, not too surprising, pump shotgun works perfectly fine on the first match. I don't think we can get away with using only it. I think we're going to end up using the pistol. Because, yeah, we didn't quite get all the hits that we needed to get. That's alright. 9mm will take care of the rest.
Lovely.
The main problem I see with this map, though, is that once we get to boss wave, we're going to have a tough match because there's not a whole lot of stuff to hide behind. And if we get somebody like Matriarch, we're pretty much dead. So, Dragon's Breath you can achieve on wave 2, I think, in just about any circumstance, unless you're AFK or you die right away on the first wave. You should be able to get enough ammo, well, enough ammo with it to make it relevant for the next round. Oh yeah, I should probably tell you what I'm using for this loadout. I'm using Tactical Reload, Salvo, Tight Choke, and Resupply Pack. Pretty standard build for support. I'm not level 25 yet, otherwise I'd probably be using Barrage. So, Tactical Reload simply to reload the weapons faster because they benefit more from that than from a larger magazine, but the larger magazine would be fine too if you enjoy that more. I think both would hold 8 or 9 shots then, which might make them feel a bit more consistent. Wow, I cannot see stalkers at all. I can barely see them in the snow on this map. Alright. But the Dragon's Breath is a pretty okay weapon. It's much better on Firebug than it is on support. But on support, it's a fine weapon too, especially for wave 2 or wave 3, depending on how long of a match you're playing. Not really a weapon you want to spend a whole lot of time upgrading though, because it doesn't scale the best. I think it scales by 10% each level. Which is fine if the weapon fired out more pellets. Generally, the lower the scaling, but the higher pellets are still fine, because it still nets you higher damage. It's like with the double barrel, it's only 5%, but the double barrel shoots more pellets and has a lot of damage per pellet. So it's okay to have that low of a scaling. This one fires out 6 strong pellets. Alright, husks are proving to be a little bit annoying. on this map. I don't think this map is really the best to demonstrate how good the Dragon's Breath is, though. The Dragon's Breath really excels in not necessarily enclosed maps, but maps with tight choke points. Because you don't necessarily need to aim all that great to make good use of it. Anything where the enemies are forced into a choke point is good for you using this, because you can make use of the fire. That's more relevant with Firebug, because that's generally the way Firebug wants to play. But support can make use of it too. And on these large maps, like I said, it's not really a bad weapon. Maybe not the most optimal, but it's still okay. Alright, we'll get rid of all that. Let's see, I was talking about the rest of the build. So I went with the reload to reload this faster, because that's always going to be useful with any of the weapons that need to reload one round at a time.
My boots, your face.
The next one is Salvo. You could go with more health, though, too. Health is quite good, and I'll probably switch over to that with this. I don't think this loadout really needs the extra damage, so I think I will switch over to Fortitude. Extra health is always nice. Tight Choke just makes the shotguns more consistent. Armor Piercing is only really good in lane maps, so things like Containment Station. And then Resupply Pack just gives me extra ammo. Okay, so now I will spawn in the Frost Fang. Alright, there we go. We have the Frost Fang now. Now this is going to be a little bit not really what it would be like for you to just get the Frost Fang, because you wouldn't be able to upgrade, assuming you're keeping both of these shotguns. But since we're cheating, we might as well upgrade one of them. So we're going to upgrade the Frost Fang. The Frost Fang is quite strong. It's a very, very strong weapon for Berserker, and it's a pretty strong weapon for support as well. So you have the axe, which attacks pretty quickly. You can block with it and parry with it, which is extremely nice. 6 rounds is fine. It does have a good amount of spread, though. So the closer you are, the better this weapon is, even with Tight Choke. And I think the correct way to probably use these in combination would be doing something like this. Firing out a lot of shots from the Dragon's Breath as quickly as possible. And then switching over to the Frost Fang. Now, fortunately, we still get the Frost Fang, so we can block Fleshbound hits like that. Another fortunate thing is that we have this giant map to run around on, so we have plenty of room to move. There we go.
Love my guns.
Alright, so we got rid of the Fleshbound. I would say probably just get as much space as you can, so when you're reloading you don't have to worry too much about getting attacked. And switch over to your weapons when they do need to reload. For all the small stuff, the Dragon's Breath will do just fine at killing them. You don't really have too much to worry about there. And certain Zeds like Crawlers really do not like this. Crawlers and Stalkers in particular. Stalkers are going to be a little bit more difficult for me on this map, simply because I can't see them as well. But if you light a Stalker on fire, they can no longer use their cloaking ability. Which is something that makes Firebug so useful for the team. And if you wish to take any of the fire weapons with anybody else, it can also help them. It's also pretty decent to get robots to freak out like that. Robots don't really take that much extra damage from fire. I think they're actually resistant to fire, but they do have a high chance of kind of freaking out. So yeah, Dragon's Breath works just fine on all small and medium Zeds. No problem. Even Zeds like the EDRs, you can usually deal with without too much trouble. The main weapon, or the main thing that this weapon doesn't deal well with, though, is Scrakes. Scrakes are pretty resistant to it, but they're not so resistant to this. Flesh Pounds also can give you a little bit of trouble, because Flesh Pounds can just tank through the damage to an extent. The other cool thing about this loadout is that you never have to really worry about running out of ammo, because you always have the axe available. There we go. Get rid of the EDRs. Yeah, this makes Scrakes pretty weak. Alright, so that was wave 2. We're on wave 3. And we're just going to throw upgrades into these as much as we can. So, going to max out the Frost Fang, buy more ammo, and get us an upgrade for the Dragon's Breath. If you have full weight with this, you can also take, I think you have 3 weight to spare when they're both fully upgraded. So you can go with the buckshot if you would like another shotgun. You can go with a medic weapon like a medic pistol or medic SMG to heal. You could go with C4 to do more damage. You could go with a Deagle for potentially more damage as well. Yeah, I didn't even see that stalker there. It's incredibly difficult to see him on this map. The snow is very bright. Oh well, I like this map though. I mean, it's a pretty user-friendly map, and I'm playing a pretty user-friendly class. I do want to do kind of a part 2 of this, checking out how good it would be with pistols, though, because we could do a pistol, or I guess a Kimbos of Fire and Frost, since we do have Winter Bites and Spitfires. Not sure if I want to try that with Survivalist, or if I want to try that with Gunslinger. I mean, Survivalist I think it could work fine on. I think it would actually probably work better on Gunslinger, though. And it could be a pretty fun set of weapons to play with.
Careful.
Not something you usually see on them. Alright. Right now, there's nothing really scary coming in to fight us. I mean, the worst thing we have is spiders and a bunch of guys that aren't getting enraged.
Crispy time.
So in this situation, it's probably best if we just kind of backtrack, kill any of the little guys that are coming, and wait for big guys to come. Because if we kill off all the medium guys, there might be a bunch of big guys that swarm in. Like, I mean, there's a Scrake, but that's still going to be pretty slow. Yeah, he's right over there somewhere. Oh, there he is. Alright, let's get rid of... Yep. Alright. Sometimes this is why you don't want to get rid of the slow things. Alright, there we go. So if you get a Fleshbound isolated like that, it's actually pretty easy to kill him with this weapon. It's easier with Berserker, as I've said. Because Berserker's just a little bit better at fighting things like Fleshbounds and Scrakes one-on-one. Support can obviously still do it, but Berserker's a bit more specialized for it. Alright, come and charge me again, Fleshbound. Yeah, like if you got a giant spread of enemies like this, which, I mean, you probably won't on a regular map, and you probably won't with a group. Yeah, you can just get rid of him pretty easily like that. Alright, then we'll start cleaning up some of the medium stuff. As long as we don't get like a bunch of flesh pounds coming in all at once, we're fine. Oh, I actually seen that stalker, probably because of the red snow. I could see it.
One of those cloaked cows is here.
That one I just kind of heard and guessed. Oh. Ooh, okay, that was bad. I got caught on like the one rock that was on the map. Alright, I need to get rid of anything that's going to be in the way so I can heal up a little bit. And then just kind of take it easy.
Take that monster!
Those crawlers are kind of hard to see too on the snow. I seen him back there somewhere and I didn't realize where he went. There we go. Alright, we're back in a good position now.
Fuck you, monster!
No, we probably could have pushed that guy and killed him. Oh well, he'll come to me. Alright, there we go.
Dead monster!
Now bloats also don't like this at all. If you hit a bloat with the shotgun, there's a pretty high chance that it can't vomit on you. It still can, but there's a high chance that it won't. Alright, there we go. Upgrade those two. Yep, and then we could just have enough to get like C4 or the buckshot or potentially another 9mm. What other weapons could we potentially take? Pretty much any single pistol, because you could also take a 500 if you wanted. That's about it. Yep. Alright.
Nice.
So, final wave, or was that the final wave or are we on boss wave? I wasn't paying attention. This is boss wave, okay. I feel like I missed a wave there somewhere then. Okay. Abomination. This is a perfect map for him. If it was Matriarch or Patriarch, this could be really bad. Simply because I could get shot from literally anywhere. So I was hoping for like Abomination or Hans would be fine, and so would King Fleshbound. Especially since we have this weapon. And you can freeze the Abomination with this gun, which is pretty cool.
Easy as pie.
Alright. I think I want to hit him with this and take his armor off before I switch to the Incendiary Shotgun, because I don't think it does as much damage if he has armor. At least I'm under that impression. Alright.
Love my guns.
This does make this weapon's actually super nice if you get the Abomination, because you can freeze him. And he really can't do much about that. 'Cause, I mean, look, you freeze him. I'm playing support, so I don't have any increased movement speed. But I can still easily outrun him then. I'm still way ahead of him.
No more. Another one. There. Down you go.
Alright. He's making a little bit of a semicircle movement here. I'm not sure how much I like that. Because he is closing the distance slightly, but I think if I just hug the corners, he can't do much. Assuming we don't get a bunch of guys dropping down on top of our heads. Alright, this actually does not take his armor off very quickly.
Your face.
That wouldn't be that big of a deal though, if you are actively freezing him. Because then at least you're slowing him down for the team, and the team could potentially hit him a bunch. But for the sake of this, I'm just playing it solo, just because it's much easier to make videos solo than see if I get a team.
Love my guns.
There's also usually not a whole bunch of people that play this on Hell on Earth though either. Or sometimes you get like the new group of people that just barely hit like, you know, like level 15 or so and want to play Hell on Earth to get extra experience. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Alright, I don't know if
No one stops flying, okay?
if the fire also affects his back armor, if it only affects his front armor.
No more. Fuck you, monster. Kicks like a bitch, no?
Alright. So when he's rushing though, like this, this weapon, the Frost Fang, is going to help me much more than the Dragon's Breath. simply because I can kill, or I can freeze him before he can kill me.
I've got crazy skills.
And then something like the Dragon's Breath is probably better once he starts sending out a bunch of little guys, because the Dragon's Breath can rip apart little guys. Alright. He's giving us a little bit of a break here. Not entirely sure why, but... throw out some grenades too. You could also get close and hit him with the axe too if he's frozen and if you're feeling kind of gutsy, but that might not be the best in most situations.
Looking weak.
Alright. We should have this fight pretty much in the bag. He's slowing down quite a bit. Oh, his back armor got torn off. Okay.
Like I'm on fire. Bam.
Kind of sucks though if you enable cheats on this and you spawn in a weapon like I did. You don't get any experience. And I feel like I would have gotten a lot of experience from all those little flubbers we've been shooting.
No one stops flying, okay?
Alright, there we go. And down goes the Abomination. So overall, I think this build is fine, just like a lot of supports builds. Let's see, you could potentially switch off Fortitude for Salvo if you want higher damage. You don't necessarily need Tight Choke. Both these weapons fire, you know, somewhat in consistent patterns, at least at closer ranges. Like the Frost Fang gets kind of all over the place at longer ranges. But assuming you're only using it at very close ranges to where you can reasonably like charge something and hit him with the axe, it's fine. And we didn't really have any trouble on this map, although like I said, this map is pretty big, pretty open, and we did get the Abomination, and he's one of the easier bosses to fight. So I like the idea. I think this was a really cool loadout. It's definitely interesting if you want to play something different with support. It's perfectly viable on pretty much any difficulty I could see. Hell on Earth, you might have a bit more issues towards the later rounds just because the Frost Fang can be a little bit inconsistent with how often it freezes stuff, but early rounds, like Dragon's Breath, can tear through everything. Medium rounds, you have a pretty good setup. And then just like that bit of later rounds and boss wave might give you some issue depending on which boss you get. But all in all, I really did like it, and I appreciate the comment. I'm going to try this again, but using pistols, trying out probably dual Spitfires and dual Winter Bites with Gunslinger, and see how that goes. That should be interesting as well. I have a feeling that one's going to work out just fine too, simply because I'm playing Gunslinger though. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks everybody for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for all the support recently. I really appreciate that too, guys. You guys really seem to be liking all the tier lists and all the Killing Floor 2 related material that I'm putting out recently. And once again, thank you. I will talk to all of you guys next time. Until then, stay cool and bye.